Hi everyone. The health issues we will be presenting on today are COVID-19 and hypertension. Here is an update on the coronavirus cases as of Wednesday, April 22nd, 2020. The first map demonstrates the coronavirus spread around the world. These figures are reported by governments and health authorities. Figures may include probable positive cases and deaths. And the second map demonstrates the coronavirus cases across the United States. You guys can take a few seconds to look over the figures. And to the right, we as a group provided info from our hometown. In Ann Arbor, Michigan, as of April 22nd at 11:34 a.m., there have been 900 cases and 38 deaths. In Kalamazoo, Michigan, as of April 21st at 3 p.m., there have been 201 positive cases and 10 deaths. In Maryland, within the past 24 hours, there have been 14,775 cases and 631 deaths. And finally, in Quincy, as of April 21st, 2020, there are 557 cases, which 186 of them have recovered, and there have been 41 deaths. As we all know, the outbreak of COVID-19 can be a stressful time for everyone. Fear and anxiety about a disease can cause strong emotions. Coping with stress will make yourself, individuals you care about, and your community stronger. Stress during this time can cause a lot of fear and worry about your own and others' health. It can cause changes in your sleep and eating patterns. It can worsen chronic or mental health conditions and increase the use of substances. How you respond to the outbreak may be different from others, so here are different ways to cope with stress. Take breaks from watching, reading, or listening to the news related to COVID-19. Take care of your body. Make time to unwind. Connect with others. Check in with your loved ones often. And take care of your own mental and emotional health. If you would like more information about ways to cope with stress during this pandemic, feel free to click on the link provided. Need help or know someone who does? If you or someone you care about are feeling overwhelmed with emotions, call 911, visit the Disaster Distress Helpline, or visit the National Domestic Violence Hotline.
Hey there. So, completely switching topics from stressors and how to manage stress during COVID. We're going to go for um, cultural and governmental differences between China, where this started. It started in Wuhan, China, as we all know, and the United States, where we all are. I think we're all in the United States right now. I was actually in China where this started, and now I was quarantined there for a while, and now I'm quarantined in the US. Um, so in China, nationwide shelter in place orders with strict enforcement are just kind of the way it works. Citizens uh, are very much, they've been through SARS. Obedience for that kind of thing is pretty high. There's a lot of, that's just what they do. Temperature checks on public transportation are the norm. Uh, it was uh, everybody had to wear masks on public transportation. That is the case now, I think, in most major cities, but that's locally determined. There's a lot of variety between states. As we know, places are already starting to open up. Um, and I think places now are only just starting to open up in China, and it's been since January. So there's a huge differential there. Although population density in China is higher, and there are a lot of differences. But people in the United States are supposed to self-monitor for symptoms, but in China, um, you're temperature checked. If they suspect you of having symptoms, you're temperature checked if you're out in public. And if you arrive in a new city and are staying in a hotel or something like that, you're quarantined for 2 weeks, whether you like it or not, and you're temperature checked twice a day by uh, the front desk. And if your temperature gets too high, you're reported to the government. And the US was ill prepared for COVID 19 in part because the strategic national stockpile is inefficient. We really didn't have enough masks, PPE. Um, We had a lot of missed opportunity from the federal government. We knew COVID was going on. We did. I told you that in January, we knew this was going on. Kay pulled us out. I was hearing from the United States government, like, we knew this was going on. But the government didn't really do anything, and they missed a lot of chances to take early precautionary steps to track people coming in from China, to make the early steps that really could have impacted this crisis.
We also wanted to go ahead We also wanted to go ahead and look at populations that were overlooked during the pandemic. So one of the populations that we looked at were homeless people, and in the image to the right, we're looking at Los Angeles and how some government officials had resorted to drawing lines on concrete as a means to continue to practicing social distancing. And this is as a reminder that not everybody can self-isolate, and not only that, but they can't self-isolate within the comfort of a home, and that many people living in the United States are living paycheck to paycheck, and that's increased the susceptibility to many people becoming homeless. Another Another population that we wanted to go ahead and look at were incarcerated people. The United States has more people incarcerated than any other nation, and within these prisons and jails, there's no access to gloves, masks, or hand sanitizers, and barely, if any, social distancing protocols that are being followed. And jails and prisons have reported positive for COVID-19. Specifically, 132 inmates and 107 staff members in New York have tested positive for the virus, and some facilities have resorted to releasing inmates in order to slow down the spread of the virus.
Now let's now let's move on to hypertension. The symptoms of hypertension, as defined by the American Heart Association, is a systolic value of greater than 130 and or a diastolic value of 90 or greater. So blood pressure is a measure of the force with which the blood is moving within the body. So there are a lot of causes and risk factors for hypertension. There are some controllable factors and some uncontrollable factors. So we're going to go through the controllable factors first. Those include your sodium intake, um, the amount of alcohol you consume, whether you smoke, the amount of exercise you get, your potassium levels. Potassium is in like bananas and some other things, and then your stress levels. Uncontrollable factors are your family history. Males are more at risk than females. Your age. If you have sleep apnea, you're at higher risk. Whether uh, or not you have chronic kidney disease, and then race. So for complications, because hypertension is so often caused by poor general health, socioeconomic status is also now a risk factor for it. In this country, healthcare tends to vary given socioeconomic factors. Access to quality healthcare is crucial for basic living practices, and many citizens don't have the care they need, perpetuating hypertension.
Thank you for watching. Have a great week, and remember to practice social distancing, wash your hands frequently, and avoid touching your face. Bye.